This is the Padres POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the San Diego Padres. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Padre fan? Welcome to your Padres Postcast and Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Got the bling on, trying to get the ring on. You know what I'm saying? Jim Greasehopper. Call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. And I am here, as I am after every game, to bring you the ups, the downs, the ins and outs, the haps from the San Diego Padres game that just ended. And today, a beautiful piece of work by Randy Vasquez and the bullpen. Maybe not beautiful from Vasquez's standpoint. Gave up 7 hits in 4 1/3 innings and gave you a few heart attacks along the way. But he escaped most of those jams, was able to get it done. The bullpen, magnificent, dominant again, and just enough offense. Oh, they need another bat. Kyle Stowers. Paging Kyle Stowers. He hit a home run today for the Marlins. Maybe you don't leave Miami without him. This is Padres Postcast. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. They open up the series in Miami with a 2-1 win. Again, a 10-game road trip to start the second half. The deadline, very close, right around the corner. The trade deadline, that is. They're in the wild card race, in firm control, not really, but in control, in the right place in the wild card race right now, and nipping at the heels of the Dodgers still. So a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack for myself after every game, taking you through the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the haps of the game, and Javier Reyes with Locked On Padres podcast on all these same channels. And again, with me, I'm live after the games on YouTube. You get to see this face right here. And then if you don't want to see the face and you want to do the audio version, we upload right after the YouTube show. So you can download, that's right, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you listen to your podcast. And of course, you down with OPP? No, silly. I mean, with a shirt like that, come on. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, they're down with me. But OTT is where it's at. Roku is where we are free as well. Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. Padres Postcast 2-1 win in the MIAO. Let's go.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Oh, Xander Bogarts and Fuego right now playing some of the best shortstop in Major League Baseball and game in, game out, ripping the cover off the ball as well. Jackson Merrill back in the lineup with an RBI single and a beautiful job scoring the Padres' second run on an RBI double by Martin Maldonado. And how about this? These two catchers have been really good lately, and they've been hitting the ball. Maldonado with an RBI double today. Diaz with the homer, 2 RBIs, 2 hits yesterday. The 2 safety squeezes on Friday. Look, Dylan Cease gave you the best start of his season on Friday night. You had Nick Pivetta. I always want to say Jake Pivetta for some reason. Nick Pivetta giving you another outstanding start. He reminds me of Jake Peavy in some ways. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Peavy was better, obviously. But Pivetta eating up innings and wins this year. Picked up his 10th dub yesterday. And then today, the bullpen, again, 4 2/3. The 4 horsemen. Morejon was maybe the star of the game. Estrada, Adam, Suarez. 44 saves for the Padres bullpen. 29 to lead the league for Suarez. They have 22 wins and 1-run games. I talk about it every day as you move down the stretch and you move toward the playoffs into the postseason. You look at the run they made last year. When you're winning these 1-run games, when you're winning these close games, when you're squeaking and pushing runs across by any means necessary, and you're just waiting, please, Fernando, get hot for crying out loud once this year. It won't kill you, will it? It won't kill you, Fernando, to go on one of those Nando streaks. And, you know, everybody around the league's going, oh, you take away the PEDs. We just need Fernando Tatis Jr. to give everybody a big dose of shut the F up and go on one of those 30-day runs where he shows you he's one of the top 3 to 5 players in all of baseball with all those tools he has, right? And how about Jackson Merrill out there in center field giving the Gold Glove caliber defense when he came up as an infielder, but because of Manny and Bogarts on that side of the infield, he moves to the outfield, and look what he's done there. But the bullpen, the story of the day, just enough to get by, scoring runs, playing defense. Manny turns the beautiful double play on the bullet of a line drive. Again, just fantastic defense from this team. The relief, man, oh, God, it's just been incredible. So an amazing job by the Padres from start to finish today. Defensively, the pitching, phenomenal. And, again, what are you going to do about the the offense. I mean, it's you got the deadlines coming, tick, 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 tick. And, we do the postcast, which means we talk about the game that just ended. We're not here to talk about the Padres as a whole necessarily. You know what I mean? That's more hobbies thing day in and day out with the podcast, Locked On Padres podcast. But I will say this. Thank you for making us your first watch or listen every day. Can't say that enough. And we're free wherever you get us. And how about this? They just got enough, right? Morejon gets the win. He's 8-4. Perez, the loss. He's 3-3. Suarez, the save, number 29 on the season. But the bullpen, 4 2/3 innings today for the Padres. 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, no runs. Have some. They've been doing it all year. And by the way, the one Marlins run, Kyle Stowers with the powers, baby. He's got 22 dingers, 60 home runs, or 60 RBIs, hitting 295. He's a SoCal native. He's a lefty. He plays left field. Oh, everybody wants Duran from the Red Sox. I've said all year, Stowers. Javi kind of shot me down a little bit on that earlier this year. The Marlins have him under control until 2027, I believe, maybe 2029, I think 2029. So you might have to overpay a little bit for him. But Stowers or Duran, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that you could talk about. But I love Stowers, man. 1 for 4 today for the Marlins. And no Padre had 2 hits. They scored 2 runs in the second inning. The 4th inning is when the Marlins scored 9 hits to 5. Miami had 4 more hits than the Padres. 7 hits allowed and 4 1/3 by Vasquez. Talk about scattering and then getting out of the jams. It was just phenomenal to watch him work his way out. 7 hits, you know what I'm saying? But another nice win for the Padres. They're 3 games behind the Dodgers now. 6.5 behind the Dodgers are the Giants. 3.5 behind the Padres, and the Diamondbacks a 1.5 behind the Giants. So what does that make them? That makes them 5 games behind the Padres. And we'll give you the wild card. Un momento, por favor. But it was really nice to see the bullpen dominate again today, right? Just literally dominate this game again. And when I think about, they like where they're at right now, the Padres, no doubt, right? 2-1 win. They're 55-45. They have 21 wins in 1-run games, a 6-4 homestand to end the first half. Starting off the second half, nice, right? They've won 7 of their last 9 games, or 6 of 8. I'll say 6 of 8 right now. They're in contention. They're in that wild card spot, and things are looking good for the Padres right now. But again, they are not, I repeat, they are not producing offensively. They did score 7 runs in the opener against Washington and 8 runs in the finale. But again, Washington just fired their manager. They've been terrible, and the Marlins not a good team at all. They've set records for the number of rookies used this year. But when you look at the Padres right now, overall in the NL, they're in pretty good contention. The Cubs have the best record. The Brewers at 59-40. They're tied in the Central. The Dodgers have been skidding lately. They're at 58-42, and the Phillies leading the East at 57-43, but they're only a half game ahead of the Mets, right? So the Cubs and Brewers are tied, percentage points even, everything's even right there between them. The Cubs have the tie break, the Phillies a half game ahead of the Mets. So it'd be Cubs, Dodgers, Phillies are the division leaders, right? And the wild cards right now, this is pretty cool when you think about it, right? I really enjoy breaking it down for you, and I'll just do it for a second here before we tell you a little bit more about this particular game. But, man, the Padres in that mix right now, you got the Phillies in the lead in the East, the Cubs in the Central, and the Dodgers in the West. And then atop the wild card race, you have the Brewers, and then the Mets, and then the Padres, who are literally, a game ahead of the Mets in the loss column. So they have a half game up there, but they're a game and a half behind the Mets, and they're pretty well behind the Brewers or Cubs, whoever's in second there in the Central. So looking good overall, and a nice job by the Padres bullpen to keep them going. Obviously, they need offense. They really need offense. They need to start pushing more runs across. The bullpen with this amount of stress, they keep winning the one-run games. I've talked about how great it is, how impressive it is, and I like it. Obviously, you have to. But when you think about long-term, the bullpen's going to give. If the starters don't give you more innings, the bullpen's going to give. Yu Darvish getting better every time out. Diggy down with the Kit King. You're looking at August for him still, maybe 3 weeks out for Michael King, maybe 4. So still, but that's a boost. That's like making a trade. That's like getting someone in. That's like bringing in an ace, to get him back after all that time. And if Cease does not cease pitching like this, if he continues, and you got to run Diaz out there with him again. That was his first game of the year that he pitched with Diaz caught. Got to do it. You got to do it till it doesn't work anymore. Sorry, Maldonado, but it is what it is, right? So anyway, big win for the Padres, 2-1 the final. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. Got a couple of things to do here from a business standpoint. When you're a network this big, look, we've had 9 million people in a day on this network, 220 plus shows, every team, every city. You know what I'm saying? Every league. By the way, plug Locked On MLB Game Night. Check that out on YouTube. But man, oh man, we have some great deals to talk to you about from a couple of our fantastic sponsors who they're lining up. They're chomping at the bit. They're wrapped around the building 10 times. Man, they are wrapped around the building 10 times trying to get in and talk to you through us. And here's a couple of them right now giving you amazing deals because that's what we require for them to be here with us and you. 2-1 Padres, Locked On Podcast Network, Padres Postcast, Grease. We are rolling onward. Stick around. So I can talk to you about Supply House. Where are you at, my skilled tradespeople? Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. That is right. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? No problemo. Supply House offers expert support, industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for the pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trademaster program, I said free Trademaster program, offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trademaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order as a bonus at supplyhouse.com on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, your Padres, every single day. And now I get to tell you about FanDuel. I'm always talking about action on the action. When you're wearing a shirt like this, you know you're all about the bling, the ting, the ring, baby, the action. Summer sports are in full swing. And whether you're about baseball, under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling with FanDuel? Bet on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach, right? Getting in on that action. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, right? My favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions, always more fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, get that cash right away, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. So whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet right into the ninth inning with Robert Suarez on the mound, FanDuel makes it feel like I am a part of the action. And if you're new to FanDuel, check this out. New customers bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Let me say it again. Bet $5 if you're a newcomer. Get $150 in bonus bets if that first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started with FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. What a win for the Padres bullpen today. And they've been outstanding all year long and never better than this afternoon. Adrian Morejon, Jeremiah Estrada, Jason Adam, and Robert Suarez. The four horsemen, 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, dominating the Miami Marlins after Randy Vasquez scatters 7 innings, getting after jam after jam after jam, getting out of jam after jam after jam. Call him Smuckers. He was in a jam all day, but he pitched his way out, man. You want that toughness. You want that guile. You want those guts, that heart, that come on, come get some. And he pitched his way out. He did a fantastic job today. And I have to say that how impressed I've been with Vasquez this year. You didn't know if it was going to be Kyle Hart. You didn't know. I mean, Kolek's pitching tomorrow. He's been really good coming up as a reliever turned starter. Where would you be without Kolek and Vasquez? And then Pivetta, the $4.5 million salary this year. Nick Pivetta. Think about that, right? Pivetta and Vasquez. Where would you be? You had Kyle Hart. You didn't know what he was going to give you, right? It's been really just like a whirling dervish. The injury to King, Musgrove out for the year. Darvish, when's he coming back? Finally, he's made 3 starts, and it has just been B.R. Oodle. B.R. Oodle. That means brutal, in case you're wondering. But, man, it's been tough. And the bullpen carrying that load, they were phenomenal again today. All right, we got a couple of things to do in a short time to do them in. Let's hit these benchmarks. What do you say? We tell you when this game was put away.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Oh, my goodness. What a day. And look, the defense was on point. Vasquez pitching himself out of jams in the first 4 and 1/3 innings. The bullpen going 4 2/3 scoreless. 2-hit baseball from the pen. So when was the turning point of this ball game? Could it be? You know what I mean? Was there like a rally later in the game when the Marlins had a chance to win it? How about when the Padres took the lead in that second inning? They scored both their runs. They were out hit 9-5. They still can't hit with runners in scoring position. They were 1 for 7 today. Maldonado with the RBI double after the RBI single from Jackson Merrill in the second inning. And that could be exactly where it was right there, the turning point. And I think that there were a couple of other times in this game. But again, when you think about this game, right, I mean, it's 2-0 Padres early, and then the Marlins get that 1 run back in the 4th inning. And then, the Padres bullpen just taking over from there. You know what I mean? And I would say, honestly, that that inning was the turning point of the ball game for the Padres when they scored those 2 runs in the top of the second inning. Xander Bogarts doubles to center, goes to third on a wild pitch by Perez. Merrill singles to right field over an infield that was all the way in with runner on third base and nobody out. Cronenworth strikes out looking. Iglesias lines out to second, and Martin Maldonado with a double to left field, scoring Jackson Merrill. And that was all they needed and all she wrote. Bogarts been hitting the ball real well, been one of the better defensive shortstops in the league. There's Bogarts and Merrill right in the middle of all of it. Fernando had a double today. Nobody had 2 hits on the Padres. They're still not scoring. But this man right here has to love what he's seeing, Mike Shildt, because, again, 22 one-run wins. They're 8-0 after a loss. They've won 6 out of 8 right now, and they're winning 1-run games. Look, they had the 2 big offensive outbursts against Washington, but you had a pretty decent homestand before the break, and now you are 3-1 on this road trip, 10-gamer to start the second half. Got to snag these next 2 in Miami, get that sweep. You would love to have seen it in Washington. You're 3 behind the Dodgers, who are off today. You're starting to separate from the Giants and the D-bags. And then, of course, in the wild card, you're behind either the Brewers or the Cubs, who are tied right now atop the Central, and the Mets. So you're in third place. You're the 3rd wild card. And right now you got everybody on your heels, Cardinals, Reds, et al. And you got a big series coming up when you leave Miami. And that's against the Cardinals. And you can find me in St. Louis. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a little old Nelly song with the Lunatics right there. So with that being said, with the turning point, it is time for...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And there are 2 of the candidates right there. Bogarts again with a big double, scoring a run. And Jackson Merrill obviously was a big part of everything that went on today for the Padres. So when you talk about Jackson Merrill and you talk about Xander Bogarts and you talk about obviously Maldonado with the RBI double, Vasquez 4 1/3, scatters the 7 hits, pitches out of jams. But today was all about the bullpen. The 4 horsemen are the stars of the game. And you look at what they did on this day, and I just want to literally throw them all up there because they are unbelievable. I'd say that the 4 horsemen were the stars of the game today, and I have one in particular who I'm going to give it to. Un momento, por favor, though, because I have to give love to all these dudes, right? I really do. So Robert Suarez picked up his league-leading 29th save, and Maldonado's in this picture too. He had the RBI double today. So Suarez right there is one of those players of the game, and Maldonado is as well. Jason Adam rebounded nicely today. Estrada as well. But man, oh, Morejon, what a year it's been for Adrian Morejon. I don't see the picture I had of him up here, but no, it's not there. It's Estrada, so I'm not going to throw it up. But Morejon is our player of the game. An inning and 2/3, 2 strikeouts, just dominant today. But Morejon, an inning and 2/3, 2 strikeouts. Estrada, an inning, a strikeout. Adam, an inning, a hit, no, obviously strikeouts or walks. And then Suarez, an inning and a strikeout. So 4 strikeouts, 2 hits, no runs in 4 2/3 from the 4 horsemen in this game today, and they are the stars of the game. Jim Greashopper, call me Grease. You're the stars of our show. I am live on YouTube after every Padres game with the postcast. You got it right here on the YouTube, and it is free, right? So you get to see this handsome face. And by the way, every time the Padres pick up a huge series opening win, I'm wearing right here the George V Perez right here, the blinged out teddies. You know what I'm saying? In the Padres colors too. How beautiful is that? They win 2-1. Tremendous job to open up this series. You got Kolek going tomorrow. Cease gave you the best start of his season on Friday. Pivetta is pitching really well right now. King is on track to come back. Darvish is 3 starts in. The defense has been phenomenal. You have 22 wins in 1-run games. Your bullpen has 44 saves, second in the majors. Suarez leads MLB with 29. Your bullpen ERA, unbelievable as well. Team defense, 1-run games. Everything is there, the intangibles, the gut, the grit, the guile, the determination, the relentlessness, everything you want to see out of a team that could make a run all the way and get ring number 1 in the history. And how great would it be to do it without Dodgers spending all that cash? The deadline is just a few days away. What will A.J. Preller do? Who's coming in to save him in left field? They love Sheets out there. I think he's the full-time DH. You got to get a left fielder, or you get rid of Cronenworth, move Louis Arise back to second, bring in a big hitter at first base. But here's what I would love to see. Everybody wants to see Durant from the Red Sox, right? He's got the wheels. He can steal more bags, manufacture more runs, which would be great, but the Padres are already really good at that. Yeah, they need another bat down toward the bottom of the lineup, right? But wouldn't it be nice to see Kyle Stowers hitting 5th for this team, or 6th? You got Fernando leading off, right? 2-hole Louis Arise. Manny hitting 3rd. And then you go Stowers 4, Merrill 5, or Stowers, Bogey, Merrill, Bogey, Stowers, left, right, left, Bogey really starting to hit. That's like bringing in a big time. It's a $280 million player a couple years ago, playing the best shortstop in the big. So you get Bogey hitting, right? And then you bring in that one guy like a Stowers, like a Duran, somebody of that ilk. All you need is Fernando to get hot, man, and he can carry you for a month. So I think there he is right there. Fernando, please, Fernando, right? He impacts the game in so many ways. We say it day in and day out. But, man, we need a big month from Fernando Tatis Jr. We need a couple of big moves at the deadline. Priority number 1 is 1 bat. Priority number 2 is a 2nd bat. You get a big bat in the middle of the lineup. You get a really good bat down in that lineup. You need both. You need both right now. Let's not kid ourselves. They need both. And then I don't know if you need one more arm in the bullpen. Matsui's been great all year, not as much lately. Maybe a lefty there. Hoying coming back kind of gave you a boost there, but you didn't really need that with Estrada and Peralta and Matsui, and then the 4 horsemen, right? So I would say big bat, number 1. Another bat, like a veteran solid bat. Doesn't have to be another huge bat, but down in the lineup to give you some steadiness down there. Maybe a little more defense, right? And then a starter. I think they need a lefty starter. I really do. If there's an ace available out there that they could get, I'd do that too, because then you go King, Cease, and one of those guys, maybe both, going to be gone next year. So there you have it. But what a nice job by the Padres today. Tomorrow's game in Miami will start at the same time as today's game. And by the way, Wednesday's getaway day, you want to see, it's a 9 o'clock, 9:10 first pitch, breakfast from Miami, right, on Wednesday. So you want to see an empty baseball stadium. There might not be one fan in the stands in Miami on Wednesday at noon for this game. But it'll be 9:10 a.m. our time, and then we come your way with a postcast right after. But tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. It's Kolek, 3-4 with a 4.24 against Edward Cabrera. Good stuff for Edward, by the way. 3-4 with a 3.61. The Padres at 48.5% in the predictor. No line, no odds, anything like that yet. And then the third game of the series on Wednesday, which is a noon start time, East Coast, 9 a.m. Pacific. man, Dylan Cease going to have to, I hope he's already been on that schedule, but can he continue the way that he did against Washington? And he always pitches well against them, but Cease taking on Sandy Alcantara, the ace for the Marlins. So how great would it be to just get Alcantara and Stowers, get on out of Miami, make one more deal for somebody to play and hit down in the lineup for the Pods. I like what the catchers are doing. I know you guys give me all kinds of crap about that, but I think they're all right there. Anyway, I got to run. It's getting a little late in the show. Make sure you check out Javier Reyes, Locked On Padres podcast, every single day, the ups, the downs, the ins and outs on all the same channels as me. As for me, Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. And, man, thanks to all of you who crossed over and watched me on MMA Weekly Saturday night doing the UFC fights and boxing. Manny Pacquiao Live. We had 3.5 million views. Thanks to all of you who came on over and all of you who listen to me on ESPN Radio, as well as with the Padres Postcast. We're live on YouTube right after every game. You can see the handsome face. Come on in the chat. Say what's up. Hit that subscribe so you become a part of the family, and that bell so you know and you get the alerts when we're coming your way with more content. Javi and me, we're on the same platforms and outlets and free on all of them. YouTube Live right after the games. Then we upload, you download. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, et al. And then you down with OTT. Yeah, you know me. This whole party, this whole city, this whole fandom. The San Diego Padres. 2-1 winners in Miami today. That's going to do it for me, Jimmy G, on the MIC after another victory for the San Diego Padres. 2-1 the final in Miami. They try to run it back tomorrow. 3:40 first pitch. We're here right after with the postcast at 9:10 a.m. on Wednesday, about noontime with the postcast that day. Until tomorrow, thank you for making us your first watch or listen every day. Don't forget about Locked On MLB Game Night on YouTube, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Every team, every game, every night. All the local analysis on a national level. And then, of course, the Padres podcast with Javier Reyes. With the deadline coming up, you will do yourself the greatest favor you've ever done as a baseball fan and watch Javi. He's been doing it since before the pandemic, building up this platform, Locked On Padres Podcast. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Padres fans. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, saying peace. 2-1 Padres in Miami. They win the opener, 6 of 8 overall. Padres Postcast. We are